All right. Today I have Aaron Watkins on with us, and he just did the Georgia Death Race, uh, obviously down in Georgia. He's going to tell us about his experience, in case you're interested in it, because it's one of those bucket list races on my radar, and he actually completed it this weekend. So he's going to talk about it, and here we go. So Aaron, if you want to start by just giving a brief introduction about yourself.
Oh man, my name's Aaron Watkins. I live in Morgantown, and I guess we're gonna talk about running trails, right? So yeah, no, I like to. That's my jam, running, obviously, and um, I was never like started as a teenager or a kid or anything. I was like in my almost 30 before I started, so it progressed quickly. A lot of people I hear say that
Yeah,
it progressed quickly as soon as you catch the bug. So
I wasn't a runner really either, and I started when I was like 32. So I guess we got lucky. We found something we actually like in our adulthood that we could continue on through the rest of our lives.
and better yourself. You know what I mean? And if it's it's a healthy habit. So
But yeah, on the verge of the term addiction, I guess, because like you
yeah,
said,
yeah, that's it. I tried to steer away from that word. You know what I mean? I was started with that one, and I was like, no habit. So.
so what exactly is the Georgia Death Race?
um it's worded as a 74-ish mile mountain race, with the ish on the end. So um it's in the I always hear people, and anytime I've ever heard about the race, and well, the first time I heard about the race is on like podcasts and stuff, and I've heard Sean talk about it, you know what I mean, and talk up how tough it is, and it's every bit as that tough, man. And talk about how there are mountains in Georgia, like it's not all peaches and beaches, So I mean, I mean, it's the ass end of the Appalachian Mountains. I mean, it's still down there, right on top of the Smokies, right there around North Carolina, and that tail end of North Carolina, and Tennessee. So uh, when you go into it in that area, it's like, yeah, we're in the mountains. Like when you go into Pine Creek, when you're like, you like are looking up, and stuff. It's like you're in the mountains. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So it runs from, I guess it ran from Vogel or something, but then I guess we changed locations. We started right beside it, some farm, Herbert Reese Farms, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. But it didn't really. It looked more like some sort of venue kind of like place. Had a nice pavilion and stuff. You could have a wedding at or something. Uh, we started at, and you run to Amicola and Amicola Falls State Park, and that's near where the Appalachian Trail starts. I guess it starts at Springer Mountain. I don't know how close Springer Mountain is to that in retrospect, but at that lodge during the daytime, there was a lot of people getting ready to hit the Appalachian Trail this time of year. So they were backpacked up, with clean boots on, and clean gear. Like, and I was like, I wonder if that guy, if is gonna make it. Stuff like that. But
Well,
anyways, so that's where the finish is. So it runs so it's a 74-ish mile race from point to point in the northern mountains of Georgia. And weather's unpredictable, and from what we found out.
yeah, like you just touched on like the AT. If they're, I'm just looking at the calendar on my computer. They must be through hikers going the whole trail because if they're starting right now in March,
Mm-hmm.
that 6 month window that they usually say, this would be they. I would say they're 100% through hikers starting on their
Yeah,
journey. So
yeah, they had heavy packs and and all that. So that was kind of exciting to see because actually before I even learned about ultra running, I had read stuff always on the Appalachian Trail and stuff, and that was my first like thing. I was like, I'd like to do that, And then I one day on the watching the news, I seen something about the Rachel Carlson challenge. That's my first like thing of like, oh, people can do such. So then I started running, and I eventually got into it, but uh yeah, but my first thing of like love of distance, even though I haven't done much backpacking, I've done a lot of hiking, but I always dreamed about doing AT. So it was kind of exciting to see people going off on that this weekend. But
yeah, I think it's more of an east. Well, it is our East Coast long trail, and I think it's our baby. So I think on the East Coast, it's one of those things that if you get a chance to do, we would all love to do it. Just we probably financially can't take just 6 months off just that disappear for a while.
yeah, that was exciting to see people off on that. But um,
So
which one?
the course itself is pretty rugged. When I mean rugged, elevation change. I heard there's like 16,000 feet of gain and descent.
Okay, so during this race, I heard multiple people talking about the other races that are on this trail. I guess like that H9, um, that drag H9 Dragon and all that stuff's on this trail, and on this Duncan Ridge Trail, a good bit of this is on. And I got to do some research for myself. But somebody was telling me, I guess the Duncan Ridge Trail was built because they thought the Appalachian Trail was going to get interrupted by the Blue Ridge Parkway, possibly coming south into northern Georgia. So that so I heard that they built this thing in a year, or like 30 miles of it or something, and there's no switchbacks. It's just on the top of this Duncan Ridge, and this dragon spine at the beginning. Once you climb this mountain, Cosa Bald, that's high, you're on that ridge, and you're up there, and it's beautiful. And that's what a good bit of that part of the course is. But um it's rugged. So I heard that about it. There's other races up there like oh, Cruel Jewel, I think uses some of that, or Georgia Jewel. And I heard all these people talk about all these amazing things they have down there. They got a good community there too.
Yeah,
But
seems like a very nice area. I can't wait to get down there and actually experience it myself. It's one of those things when you like for me, it's a 10-hour drive because I think reading on it, you're still like an hour from what like the Atlanta airport. So
yeah,
it's
it
almost
looked
better
like
just to drive.
it looked like we were still ways up from Atlanta. But yeah, just like you said, where we stayed at is Ellijay is the apple capital of the peach state. So I guess they have apples there. There was orchards and stuff. I got down there, man. I hitched a ride with some PA people. Some I knew, some I met, and everybody was really cool. And so I hitched a ride with some people that were coming from the central PA way. I went over to Hagerstown and uh, rode with them. So that helped out.
Yeah, that would be sort of to me the way to go, at least for us like PA and West Virginia folks, because like you said, it's a point to point race. So it's even just to get a vehicle from point A to point B, the logistics, unless you're taking a crew yourself,
There is
you're pretty much screwed, I guess.
Well, there's shuttle. There's the shuttle. They got shuttle there, just like But you know from just like races you've done. I mean, Laurel Highlands. What if you take the shuttle? You gotta how much earlier you got to be up,
Yeah, that's
And
always a pain in the butt. I mean, granted, I'm at miles like 70. I'm 5 minutes from mile 70, but getting up an extra hour early just to catch the shuttle is not fun. So I can't even imagine like that type of sort of thing where you're not from the area and you have to like get up earlier. It's just to me, it's just more of a pain. But if there's a shuttle, at least that's a nice aspect of the race.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that I didn't catch the shuttle. I paid for the shuttle, but then I figured out a ride, so I ditched my shuttle ride for 2 hours of sleep. Seemed like a fair trade off, right?
I would take the more sleep over anything, even if it's a little bit more of an inconvenience. 2 hours, it adds up when you're doing 74-ish miles.
So yeah, we get down there. Like I rode with these people. We get down there, we go to check in Airbnb. It was a beautiful place. Um we end up going we go to packet pickup. Packet pickup is on the top of this hill. You pay $5 to get in the Amicola State Park, and you start going, you see this new visitor center they're building, you start going up this hill, you kind of see the waterfall. And at the top of this hill, you see this big lodge, windows shining in the sun and all that. Packet pickups up there, man, you can see forever. And like, you're in the mountains when you're up there. We walk around there well, we were there early, so got a beer and um, wait for everything, get our bibs. Sean does the pre-race meeting on the balcony, tells us what's going on. They had some photographers took big group pictures. Like the pictures that I got, the free downloads are awesome from the whole weekend.
Yeah,
Photographer takes some pictures. I get my picture taken with the bib, like the mugshot, the classic mugshot picture I've never had done. So that was kind of fun to do, the race mugshot.
yeah, I did really enjoy some of your pictures, um, especially the one I'm gonna touch on here in a second. What they call the burden.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what. Yeah, in the Sean tells us about like what about our spike, about our burden we're gonna have to carry this, our 1 pound railroad tie that we got in our with our bib. And I was already inspecting mine, looking at it. The tip of this thing I'm talking about was razor sharp, like um um so how we're going to carry that and how it's not going to be that heavy at first, but later on it's going to wear a hole in your back, 60 miles in. So anyways, um but then after we were done, you would get your engraved spike, after you throw that one in the coffin.
I actually have a spike here in my hand. I don't know if yours was handy, but I wanted to show people. Oh, you got yours?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. This thing. Let me see if I can get the light to
Yeah,
kind
it
of catch
comes. There
catch
you go.
the thing. Um, there you go. I know I got a light on the right. But anyways, man, the original one I had, this thing was like so sharp on the end of here. I everybody brings it back, brings theirs back and they're examining it, at the house or whatever. I wrap mine in like two beer koozies and a whole bunch of bubble wrap and tape. And yeah, and another piece of cloth, to put in my pack so it didn't eat me alive.
Yeah,
We got
I was gonna ask you about that, how you carried it. So I'm glad you answered that because every year you can watch videos online how to pack it more comfortably and whatnot. Because obviously, as he showed people, you really don't want to have that just digging in your back all day long.
No, I had a whole bunch of beer koozies with safety pins on it I got from Bib Pickup, and I wrapped around there, and then somebody else's bubble wrap and stuff. The swag was good, this nice swag. We got this shirt at Bib Pickup right here. Um, I got this buff here. It's really nice and soft too. I've been dirtying it up, but as soon as I use it, it'll dirty this white buff up, you know.
That is some nice. I do like that T-shirt with like the grave in the back. That really
I'm
pops
not
good.
sure what's on the back of it too. It says something about your name. It's something about your name
Yeah,
on
runner
some.
name here.
Yeah, write your name here as a tombstone, and something about your something else, you know.
Yeah, because these
Um,
these spikes weigh, well, they say a half pound, but I don't know. It feels a little bit heavier. It's
it
more like a
feels a little
pound or
bit heavier
two.
than that. Yeah, I know.
And if you're carrying that for 74 miles, that adds up to be a lot of extra weight. Like that's more than most people carry in gear.
It was a pain. Um, man. So at Packet Pickup, so I hear people talking about a storm, a rainstorm brewing. So, and people are looking at their phones and stuff and showing other people their apps and stuff, and I was having a good time then. So I didn't really think about it. So we went back to the house and I actually looked and there was a wall of water that was not going to miss us. I mean, no possible way. It was from Florida up to, in the Carolinas. And it was projected to like right at race start. And sure enough, like we get up and start getting ready. The wind starts blowing, picking up, and it we get in the truck and it starts raining on the way there. We get there, it starts raining harder and harder. Sean starts speaking, and the rain's blowing underneath the pavilion, and I'm like, here we go again. The last time I'd raced in Pennsylvania at the end of my season last year at Black Forest, it did the same thing. It was like a hurricane for 6 hours through the night, till the morning. This was only 3 hours, but that first climb in the elevation profile, and they talk about up Cosa Bald. That mountain's like almost 4,300 feet at the peak, so it's not a baby, It is a mountain. So when you went up there, the wind was blowing like 35, 40 miles per hour, and it was raining, and it was dark, and it was cold pretty quick, Uh, I had the most clothes on I think anybody I've seen. It's kind of funny, but
So, like,
but I know.
How was that first 3 miles then with it being rainy? Was it really slick, or was it still dry
Um,
enough? Or
so the first 2 miles were, I guess, changed from what it was. I think there used to be some sort of conga line somewhere, but there was enough to spread out, enough road, enough fast miles. But then you hit because it starts and Sean takes off in his truck. You chasing Sean's truck, and my shoes are wet in the first 10 seconds you leave the pavilion. You know what I mean? Like, right in the drainage ditch, I'm wet. So you run a couple fast miles kind of downhill by some houses and stuff. You get to Trailhead and start climbing Cosa. And, it gets worse and worse as you get up there. But the trail conditions were good. It was just raining hard. A couple trees down. But then when we went to descend that, what I mean, is when it started getting muddy. Like even like front mid packers or mid packers were still thinking like, what is going to go on behind us? Because like there's people falling off the trail and and just everything. fallen multiple times, and um,
How many times did you fall down?
I did never got muddy butt. You know what I mean? There was a lot of mud butts. You know what I mean? I never got a muddy butt, but I had muddy hands. Or so forth. But I was back farther enough I could tell where the slick spots were from where people already fell. So I avoided them. I wasn't in the front.
Yeah, because
Um,
I know that I was looking at the times comparable from other years, and it seemed a little bit slower. But with that rain and stuff in the beginning, like you said, slipping, that's going to slow everybody down the rest of the race. But it also might be a good thing too, because it keeps you in check instead of going out too fast, too hard early on.
a lot of people, I heard people say that, you know what I mean? Because when the sun came up in the middle of the day, it was like 80 degrees, man. And so a lot of people are like, man, I'm glad that, my body temperature was cool earlier, so it wasn't overheated. But I seen people got sunburnt, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's early in the year to race at 80 degrees, you know? I mean,
At least for us being up north,
yeah,
like the Florida and Georgia people, they might be fine with it, but for us, that's yeah, that's like July, middle of July, heat stroke weather.
I mean, it was at least in the high. I mean, it may not have been. I mean, don't. It was like 78. I mean, 100% definitely 78, and
But it's
there's no
yeah,
leaves on
just
the trees.
the shock to your body at that point.
So, like, I mean, you okay? So you do this that first. The first section is probably climbing Kosa, and on the drive Dragon Spine's rough. You go to Skeena Gap around mile 27. And I heard a lot of people drop there because, I mean, their eyes are wide open, like, holy, whatever, the whole day is going to be like this, like as bad as that. But it does get, a little better later on if you do have legs that I didn't because I kind of been sick this winter, multiple colds, and I just, I didn't get what I wanted to get, yet. It's early in the season for that. Um,
Well, I
that,
said like, even before when you were telling me that, I was like, I still had no doubt just because your mental fortitude and just your past race experience. I was like, he might think it, it might suck for him during the race, but I was like, he's still gonna crush this race no matter what and finish.
it felt like I had like lots of leg muscle memory, but not the cardio I wanted. You know what I mean? Like my legs aren't that sore from that. Like they're a little sore, but they're not that sore. But when I wanted to push or run faster, it's kind of like ah,
Yeah,
you
where's it
know.
at?
Yeah, where's that? Yeah, I know.
So touching back on the course, just one like last time. So what
No,
was the exact hardest part of the whole course?
I'll tell you. So, you know, okay, so you go to Skeena, the Skeena Gap around mile 27. Um, you get back on single track and stuff. And but later on, when you do that flat section, you do like a kind of road section, like you leave uh well, I should have had the list of these aid stations, man. I'm just so brain dead. You leave mile 50
That'd be
and
Jake Bull.
yeah, you leave Jake Bull and you go downhill from Jake Bull on like Forest Road. And you come into Jake Bull kind of a little bit on road and trail, a little mixture of both. Jake Bull, you're already hot and tired, you get your light and stuff or whatever you're gonna get. For some reason, I had my Ultra Spire waist light had somehow turned on because I must have not. I didn't. I had it all plugged in, the wire plugged in, and the batteries in. But I thought I locked it, but I must not have locked it. And turned on, melted the lens to my shirt, and like the lens was like melted, worthless, and the shirt had a hole in it. And I'm like, well, first I just thought it was on, and I'm like, my light's on, the battery's gonna be dead. I'm like, no, it's stuck to the shirt, and it is, but I had a headlamp I carried all day, so that I knew, not to make those kind of mistakes, so
Well, that
so at
geez,
least
the melt in your shirt. That's
they
some.
get hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the
It,
800 lume one, or is that the 600?
it was an 800 aluminum one. Yeah, it was in the drop bag, what I mean, with the wire plugged in and melted it.
Yeah, well, that makes more. Oh, so it was in your drop. I thought you meant it was the shirt that you were wearing.
No,
Oh, all
no,
right.
it was
Yeah,
in the, like I go to pick up my drop bag and the lights on in the drop bag in the plastic bag. I'm like, oh no, and then I'm like, well, maybe the battery's just worn down a little bit, and I'm like, no, the lens is exploded, and
well, probably that in the top. If it's like 80 degrees, if that sun hit that bag at all, that probably factored in. You never
so
know. You see those kids back in the day with magnifying glasses on ants. It'd be the same thing with your shirt.
exactly, it did. So when you leave Jake Bull, man, you go downhill on this forest road, and then it's like an 8 mile climb, whatever they call it, deuce grade up this, the other side of this. It was going to be 11 miles. And there was Sean plays a little trickery up there, if you've ever heard. But I'd feel bad if I gave that one away. But I mean, there's a little DJ party up there, but you kind of might think it is where you're going to get something to eat, maybe. But but if you want to dance, you can just do that, instead. But probably that section's long, man. That section's long, at that time, like I was listening to stuff he was interviewing and talking to people about running that, and I'm like, I definitely, like, from my time, I definitely think I left it like hour and a half out there, and it could be made up on, what I mean, that 11 mile section easily, just run that uphill, because it could be ran,
Yeah,
like it.
I'm looking at the aid stations now. I got it up, pulled up,
Mhm.
and like the last two sections are like the longest part. It's
They're, they're brutal, you know what I mean?
yeah, 10. It's like from like Jake Bull or something. It's 11 miles, and then from or Nimwil to finish, it's 10. So those are the two longest gaps. The others are like 7, 8, if that.
And in the other ones, I think there is little ones where people were allowed to crew access runners, but there was no aid station, you know what I mean? So some people had some short gaps earlier on. It was kind of,
The little sneaky
well, I
little
think
piggy bar.
I think it was, it was, I think it was allowed, but there was like a couple places we pulled up to, and I'm like, is this an aid station? And there's like, like 30 people, hanging out.
Well, since it's remote, that's probably the only spot where the crew can actually access people. So it probably makes sense that you're allowed to a little bit like leeway, whereas other races, it's basically aid station and you got to leave. And once your person comes through, and you can't come until their ETAs like roughly in that area.
I think he's trying to, you had to have permits to go to certain aid stations. Like half of us had one aid station we could have crew at, and the other half had another one. And a couple aid stations, or one, you had to have a shuttle to go to, because there's not, it's just on the back road. You can't, he's trying to get rid of it where you can't have, how these races are. You can't have 300 cars,
Yeah,
going down a 1 lane back road. That's, it's just not possible. If you guys want to go to here to crew your runner, you're going to have to get on the bus and,
yeah. I think
go road.
Eastern states, I think, is going to that now too, where they are trying to make you go uncrewed or make sure your crew's not hanging out for 8 hours and getting that bottleneck. So I mean, it's smart logistically wise, but then again, you're like, "Oh, I like to hang out with everybody, see people cheering them on. So it's kind of 50-50 with me because because me, I always like hanging out. I saw you at Eastern States. I was sitting there for like 4 hours waiting on our buddy John coming through, and it's just like I get to see everybody hang out, and it's like now they want us to get and go, and
Yeah, that's what I think they called the start of this race a kiss and drop or something like kiss like you're not gonna see the start like drop them off. You know what I mean? Take off.
so how was the scenery and the views for this course?
Oh man, like so the best part of that, the best view view I saw was when it stopped raining and we were on the Duncan Ridge Trail and we came up on this big like rock on the Duncan Ridge Trail and then plus because you could see like not 360 but everything but in front of us like we were climbing the trail but since it just stopped raining the sun came up man the fog in the valleys and so forth was just like amazing down there in the farmland. Like once it's dark and then you can see, like in the morning and especially like after it's been raining or something, like when it's come out of that into like good views, it was just like, man, like that's like some of the experiences I'll take from it. Like definitely early in the morning, I thought had the best views. Like, and then I'm too slow, so I got to the waterfall. All I can do is hear it. But no, seriously, yeah, some of the stuff from the Duncan Ridge, like I kind of thought Coastal Bald might be a bald summit where you could see just by name, but it was still dark and it wasn't really like that, what I mean? So,
Yeah, so
um,
sometimes that's hit and miss with longer races. They always advertise certain views and things you're going to see, but if you're running a dark or like even the weather, or if it's dry, if it's a waterfall, we sort of get screwed, I guess. But at the same time, some of the things we do get to see are just so immaculate. It sort of, I don't want to say overlaps the stuff that we miss. It makes it almost more magical at times.
you know what might sound weird, but I enjoyed is I guess there must have been a whole bunch of prescribed burns there, because there's signs, I saw that said that. I heard Sean say something about that or on something. And yeah, the race director, Sean, um, the rum bum, uh, Bland, or whatever the hell.
I can't say his last. I think
John
it's
Michael. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Blanton or something.
I'm just joking. But um, what was I saying? Something, man. Um,
Oh, the controlled burns.
oh yeah, the controlled burns. I enjoyed it. Like where you were through all this stuff that had been burnt. Like you've been on I know you and you've been on the Lower Highlands hiking trail where it had burnt, and you can see the old charred like stuff and then it's green now, and it's just like a different change of pace, so we kept going through those and I thought was real enjoyable because I just did, and then plus maybe you could see a little bit more there, because they burnt the shrubs and stuff.
Yeah, I,
um
I do like that. The couple of times the Laurel Highlands I've seen it, it's like new life. It's just something about that new life and the rejuvenating the forest. It's just something to be seen. And like I don't want to use magical again, but it's just something magical about seeing like the death and the life or rebirth
and
of that type of thing.
in this red mud, the red clay mud, some places, it changed. And there's in the dirt, there's must be quartz little crystals everywhere. So, your headlamp shines off and it looks like, sparkling dust, I don't know how to explain it, unless you've seen it. It's pretty cool.
You just sort of touched about your headlamp hitting off of that. How was the course marking, and was it easy to follow? Did you get lost at all?
It was marked with no, I didn't get lost. I didn't really even see anybody get lost. It was marked with a pink survey tape that said like U.S. Forest Service, as Sean joked, was U.S. football and soccer ribbon. But anyways, no. So since they said that, I think probably people left them alone. It was marked scarcer than some you've done. You know what I mean? But not bad. Like anywhere where there's turns, it was marked good. So you don't need them every you know 10. You don't need them every.
So you
So
pretty much, as long as you kept your head on you, you didn't have to worry about going off trail. And then if there was like a Y or something like that, you pretty much knew because of the flagging. That was there any like reflective markings?
and yeah, there was. He had these little round things. They were like about this big that blinked like light, blinked red and like blue and white or something. You could clip on like a little branch or clip on somewhere, you know what I mean, on a fence or something to, just catch your attention. That helped, and like any herd path or, something or a campsite thing that you might keep going on, he marked over, so it was marked good. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
have
have,
to look into those things. It's kind of interesting if they actually blink and not
it
just.
was just like, it wasn't a reflector, some you see those little thumbtack reflectors on the tree. These were about that size, but they blinked.
Hmm. I
He,
wonder
he had,
how economical those would be to get some for around this area. But
I mean, I would say maybe there was 100 on course. Like if he probably had 100 pack of them. You probably pull a little piece of plastic out and it probably turns on. I don't even know if you can turn the thing off. It's probably a one-time thing. But no, we had no problems with that. I didn't see anybody lost or coming back on trail saying they were lost or anything.
well, also probably because it's not a beginner trail race, so it's more an experienced runner trail race. So we probably have more knowledge of what to look for, what to expect, and not to lose our heads during like situations where we're like, all right, which way to go type deal.
Yeah, it sounds. No, I was just listening. It sounds like my roof's about to blow off all of a sudden.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that mine, yeah, like a storm must have just blew in. But
yeah, it,
anyways,
it, it hit us about, well, actually half an hour ago, right as we started. I was like, man, I'm gonna lose service. And
uh-huh.
so
So
you were running at night down there. Anything like spooky or scare you at all?
no, I was asking people if they seen any wildlife. I see one of the guys that came with us. He said a coyote. He said it must have been a coyote that ran in front of him. Um, Somebody else also told me a bobcat ran like in front of the car, but I didn't really see much other than lizard. Um, um, no, but it is funny how many bear signs there are, like places and bear garbage cans and I mean stuff like that. So I mean, and obviously they're awake already down there because I mean,
Well,
why would
it's
still be
it's always
sleeping? It's
nice
already
to avoid them.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
it's if you saw them in a distance, that's fine. But when you like come up on them within like 10 feet and it scares the crap out of you, that's not always fun.
or it's not snake season yet either.
Yeah,
So
let's forget about those snakes and the PA rattlesnake situation.
yeah, that's why don't know like what they get down there. Like, do they have other like cotton, whatever, cotton mouse or something,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know if they have. I wonder if they do have rattlesnakes. I imagine maybe it's just like
I imagine they
cottonmouths and
do.
copperheads or something. So,
Um,
did you meet any other interesting people on the trail or?
funny story. Um, so that like going up to Pennsylvania, and I, talk to people, and always, that I from me living in West Virginia, I go up there and race a good bit, and I talk to people, and it's not uncommon for people know your name, if you go to the races over and over again. But I put my bib on my back and my packs because I figured I would have to shed the coat, put coat on, change shirt, and I didn't want to, you know, to be dealing with that all day long. And I had pants on when I started, so I didn't want to deal with the bib changing. But a couple people were calling me about my name, and I was like confused. I'm like, how do people know my name all the way down here in Georgia? And I finally figured out my name was on my bib, or on the out and back, where we saw somebody else's come in with their name on their bib, and we started. I realized that, so that was pretty funny. But no, I did. People I met. Um, I met. Um, I did talk to a couple people that I knew from like online, or I'd heard of, uh, and I hadn't met Sean, what I mean, in person. Um, but other than that, I didn't really see anybody that I like, like, like famous that when I'm not gonna be like famous. We're all doing the same thing here. Let's be honest. But like, you know, any AJWs or what do you want? I don't know, or
Did you
um.
run mostly by yourself, or would you say it was
Now
like
I wanted to get into that. I keep saying these people I came down there with and this and that being vague, um the one dude Lee. I don't know if you know him, and I have a friend Raj, and Lee's friend Blake too. I didn't know him before, and there was a girl. I keep. I know I'm gonna slay her name. I keep like having a hard time pronouncing it. Rihanna, that went with us too. There was four of us in our group that were running. You know what I mean? And at one point we were together in the morning, like pretty like together as much as you can be for a group, and not planning to be like we're staying together. Um, was with Raj for a good bit. Raj is from Morgantown. I was with him for a good bit. Me, Lee, and the guy Blake were together for a good bit. Me and Lee ran together throughout the night for like a long time, like as in like, well, we're just gonna finish, we're finished together. If one of us stopped momentarily to tie the shoe, the other one was like, well, I might as well stretch my calf real quick. Like, I mean, not that weird, you know, but it was me that fell ill later on, and it was time for him to leave. I seen him turn around to look with his headlamp a couple times, to see if I was back there, and I was getting cold, and I had him pull my emergency blanket thing out, that uh my orange potato sack thing I put on, over top of my clothes and stuff, and for a while until I warmed up. I warmed up and took it off, but I needed a boost of heat. But yeah, we were running together for a while, and then he left me in that last section, and then I finished by myself. But no, I did have company a good bit of the race, and it really did help because I was telling him, I'm like, even if I get back there, how am I good? Because I got real sick, I just started feeling ill again and nasty, and I stopped eating. You should see how much salt was on me. I wasn't ready to. learned how to sweat yet, And it got hot in the day, man. I'm serious. It was, there was everybody kept me like, "You're salty." I finally took my hat off and looked at it, and it was, it was pretty bad. And I just got behind on calories and stuff, and wasn't eating, and so I was def marching in, and I was thinking at the end, this last section, we didn't really get into this. This last section, it's trail, and you know you're headed back to the park at least, but when you get to the park that when you get within where you can see the finish line, that you were going to have to do another 1,000-foot climb up all these stairs. I saw them the day before, but I didn't go up them. So, I was feeling so bad. I was thinking either I'm not going up there, or I'm gonna when I get back, I'm gonna take a break and then I'll go up. But I get back and you're across the creek from the finish line. So, you're looking, and all you see is, water, and you can see people over the finish. And so I start trucking it up there. You go up this ramp, you get to this first landing of stairs, and there's a sign that says strenuous, 114 stairs. I kept hearing all these stories about how many stairs there were going to be. It says strenuous, 114 stairs. And I'm like, okay. So I do these stairs. I'm pushing off the handrail. I'm climbing. I climb like three flights of them. And I sit down. I'm not feeling well. I climb another three flights, and I sit down. I get to the 100 and something stairs. This is with me. I do stair stepper too, but these were it didn't help right then. And then it says the next sign after you go through this little parking lot. It says like 429 stairs, strenuous. And I'm like, I climb them doing the same thing, sitting down every couple of flights. So my heart rate was going so high. I get to where I still think I'm going to have to go up more, and I'm like, I'm up at the top. There's the bridge. I throw up everywhere. And so it's something off the side. That was a little much. I got off the sidewalk, and somebody's passed me. People were passing me up on the stairs. Somebody else has passed me up. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm sick. Yeah. As soon as I did that, I think I took my spike out. You know what I mean? Because I knew I was at the top. I took my spike out of the bag and unwrapped it. I passed like 4 or 5 people on the way down the hill. Then I felt like amazing. Then you know what I mean? I got that out. You get down to the bottom of the hill finally. Well, the beginning of the hill's on the road, so I'm like, oh, you can run the road all the way back down, but you dip back in the woods and you do this trail that's so eroded. It looks like branches are on the trail, but they're just roots that there's no dirt around them. So it's that bad. And then you get to the bottom, and Sean closes the bridge off to the finish line. You got to go through the creek. You know what I mean? Even though you're dry, I mean, I kid you not. So you go through the creek, and I finish, and uh, I throw that spike in this coffin. And I forget who was there. Oh, it's one guy, Patrick, that was crewing us, helping crew. And he wasn't supposed to crew me, but he helped out like a champ. You know what I mean? Nobody's crew has ever told anybody else no. So well, maybe they have. But anyway, he was like, no, 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 you get your spike back out of there. Like, he's gonna, take your picture, whatnot. Well, you got to do it like this. I didn't know. So, I have an awesome picture from the photographer lined me up, and was like, hold your spike out and drop it in that coffin. He caught that thing like free floating in midair, like out of my hands as my eyes were like focused at this thing. Like it was like that was pretty awesome.
I did see that
get
picture.
through.
That picture is really good. Crap. I was trying to bring it up, but I can't bring it up. Internet's being slow, but
Oh,
yeah, I know like you just go and like it's just like mid-air. It's perfect. You couldn't ask for a better picture.
it is perfect. Yeah, I know, man. There was two that was like right before I dropped it, and then that one, like they're both awesome, and a couple other pictures from on trail I found of me. Luckily, you know, I think everybody gets a spike picture, but there's also a couple like awesome pictures I found a free download
Let's
that
see.
are amazing.
Let's see if I can bring this up. Trying to figure out how to do it. I was going to try to show. Uh, oh, you know what? Just move my camera. Oh, wait, where's that? There we go. Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
it's
Well,
my background's going to screw it up, but I don't know if that's either way. People could see that pretty good though.
yeah, yeah. I posted it. It's amazing.
There's a way to do it through like share the screen, but me trying to do it on the fly again, just I got everything all screwed up. It's not happening at the moment, but it is an awesome picture. Just like, well, you saw the silhouette of you. You can't ask for better.
Um, yeah, everything was, man. Aid stations had good food. I ate bacon avocado wraps all day and stuff. And so forth. I do got to do something different nutrition wise for myself though, because this kind of happened the last two times. I mean, I finished, but I don't want to feel like that. I mean, it has to be, up training, but it has to. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more strict about me not eating a whole bunch of cheese and eating cheese quesadillas and this and that, and I carry a whole bunch of stuff I won't eat and stuff. I'll say I'm gonna eat this. I carry it all day long and I don't eat it. Can I give a couple shots out as a couple pieces of gear I liked?
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I threw some stuff over here. These are like the most worn out old gators I have. They got old pins and stuff in them, and everything's missing off them because they're that old. But dirty girl gators. They make a whole bunch of girly prints, but just these black ones. That was crucial to keeping all that mud and all that stuff out of my shoes. Didn't change socks or shoes. Like I'm not one to take off the shoes or socks. I just roll with what's under there. Like I wear a gingy wool socks, and I didn't change them or touch them all day. Lone Peaks, Ultra Lone Peaks. I wore these Run Rabbit FKT shorts. They just got two small pockets on each side in the zipper pocket. I forget how long they are. They say they're longs. The longest ones they have like sevens or nines or something, but they look short on me. I don't know. I got long legs. Um. No, there we go. Look at that. That
Oh yeah.
thing's awesome.
You could see it good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that picture right there. That's a wall hanger. I guess is what I want to say.
I should buy something, not just jack the pictures for free, though they are free, but I should, get something buy off to do
Yeah,
their company, a guy and a girl. Um, I wore these. These were lifesavers. These are rabbit too. These arm sleeves, these arm warmers. I forget what they're called though. They have a thumb hole in them. I love these. I wore those even in the daytime sun some of the time. These I got these the other day. I bought these the other day. These North Face. These are really gloves are Gore-Tex. So do got the Gore-Tex thing. But they're really thin, and they got some reflection on them. They ain't got enough insulation on them, but in the torrential rain, they keep you dry, at least. So
Hold up your watch for a second.
I got a Phoenix 3
Yeah,
with
I
another
see you got
safety
that.
pin on all my stuff. Safety pins together.
I'm gonna have to
Once it
look.
busts, I got plenty of safety pins laying around for some reason. So
I'm gonna have to look around. I think I might have a hook thing. What you know what I mean? Whatever the rubber band is, I might have one. So if there's
yeah,
like
the
dirty,
band's not broke. I just need to order a new band. That's funny.
no, yeah. If you come to Dirty Killing in like 2 weeks, remind me. I'll have to look. If not, I think if you just shoot Garmin a message, they send you some for free. Yeah,
Uh, my
hell with
my
that safety
sweat's
pin
rough.
stuff.
My sweat's rough on silicone. It corrodes and busts it up. Zippers zippers don't like me either. Race vests and handhelds and stuff. I wore I forget what vest I have. I don't know. Wore my old vest, red
I think you have an
Nathan vest.
Ultra Aspire.
And I got a Nathan vest. It's old. I'm due for a new one of them. Wore a whole wardrobe of shirts. So there's nothing really special about that.
You need to spend some money the way your stuff's getting beat up. So is there anything you wish you would have done differently or known beforehand before you actually did the race?
I mean, of course, knowing the course is always uh better. Wish it didn't rain like that. I wish I would have had, believed and knew to have some legs to run that long section later on. And um I think that's about it, like that ways. Like knowing the course, and I wish you have to be able to run that section there. Like if you could keep yourself healthy enough to run that section and then just survive the last 10, you'd be in so much better shape time wise, if you can run good after 50K plus, of mountain running, if you can switch it over and turn the legs over, and I had a hard time doing that. So
Yeah,
that, and
I'm glad you touched on those stairs because that is to me one of the signature parts of that whole race. They always advertise that how much it sucks at the end, and kills people, but
it's not as it sucked. I was sick, so it was horrible. But if you were healthy, it's not that bad. The trails parts around those stairs are more than the stairs themselves. Like going when you drop into the park on this old road bed for the first time, when you drop into the finish line for the first time before you go back up, is it's rough. If I mean, I like going downhill, so what but I was sick, so but it's rough. But the stairs going back up are bad, but then the trail going back in is it gets rough again. I would say that, but it's once you see the finish, everybody wants to be done. Everybody mentally checks out. You want to be done. You hear music and people cheering. Your family is there or something. What I mean, you want to be done. You've been out there all day. You want to be done. So it's cruel.
so it sounds like overall you had a good time, and
That's
it seems
it.
and it seems like you're speaking highly of the Rum Bum Tours, Sean Blayton and his running thing. So would you go back again next year, or would you do any more Run Bum Tour races?
So I guess when on this one goes is like Heiner Trail Challenge. You know what I mean? It goes on sale right away. It went on sale yesterday. I think it's so like I just came off vacation. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have money to register, again. But I'm just saying, like I was looking, sold out in 7 hours, put some more spots up today as of like early on this evening. There was like 27. They might be gone when we get off. Um, but yeah, I would go back because I could do better. I would go back, and that was the first run bum race I've done. And I do some more. That I thought it was awesome, and yeah, the people, the quality of athletes there and people there, like quality of their personalities were all like amazing.
Well,
Volunteer.
I got in the Grayson Highlands the other week, which is a run
Hmm.
bum tour, and that's in like May 6th or something. So I'm looking forward to my first ever run bum race. I've
So
met
you have
Sean a
you
few
haven't done
times.
one either?
No.
Uh-huh. Me either.
Yeah, but I met Sean, I think 2 or 3 years ago. He came up to Heiner. I think he raced it too, I believe, and I talked to him for a couple minutes. But
I guess he's coming this year from what I've seen him post about training. So it's not me, like something blah blah blah.
oh,
So
I'll have to look on Ultra Sign Up and check it out because I might have just skipped over his name because he might be doing the 25. I think he did the
I
25
don't know. I don't
before.
know. You know what I mean? Are you racing?
Yeah, I'm signed
Uh
up for I'm doing the old blacklist, and
huh.
so I got to be at the
You're,
50K for
you're
Heiner.
gonna have an amazing year, dude.
It's yeah, it's gonna be fun and a bunch of suffering, I guess.
No, yeah, you'll have an amazing year. It'll trust me. You know
So
me. I'm just I'm just stubborn and stupid or something. I don't know.
so what are your plans for the rest of the year? You got anything really major or fun that you plan on doing?
A goal is sub 24 rim to river. I don't know if it's scary saying and it's scary like I don't even know what the preparations would be more scary than me going around putzing around in the woods and being like, well, I can finish something and climb up mountains. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can run that fast. You know what I mean? I think it's doable on that course because I've seen a whole bunch of it. Like if everything went well, I think it's doable. Like around 30 people do it each year, so it'd be like you know it'd be a big thing for me. You know what I mean? If I could do that, and I think like the time of year it is in the fall after if I get a good summer in, I think I could give it a shot. But it also like I think I could finish no matter what, even if it goes bad, if I give it a shot, because giving that a shot means it might go bad on purpose. You know what I mean? For me trying that, can almost be, very detrimental later on if I'm not feeling well, if I've ran like way above my ability for 50, 60 miles, and then I'm like, oh, like why did you do that? So or I could
You
run
have
that
time in the
fast.
bank.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I gotta be able to finish. That's what I'm saying. I have the confidence that if I do that, I can finish still, but I just don't want to do that and then have like, you know, I don't want to blow myself up on purpose and after retroactively look at it and say that was silly to try. But I don't think it is. So I'm gonna try it. Other than that, I haven't made any really decisions on summertime long race yet. I have Heiner, and then I'm gonna do Cooper's Rocks 50K like the next week. My friend Mark I'm gonna do EHQ challenge in May in Fairmont, West Virginia. I believe, or at least go and help him out. I didn't even make it. I didn't even make it down last year, but go help him out.
Yeah, maybe
If
maybe throwing an Ironstone again this year.
that's the one I think I want to do too, fun wise. Like I don't know if I could do better at Ironstone, but I do want to do it fun wise. Let me get this charger thing. Um, but fun wise, I want to do that, and I think and I know you're. Oh, come on, how do you do this?
Yeah, I'm signing up. I just
Uh,
haven't did it yet. I'm waiting for some other things that, sign up for other races first before I spend more money on that, since it's not sold out yet.
okay,
So yeah, well, once I get some more funds freed up, then I'm probably going to sign up for Ironstone. But I think you need to come back and try it again.
same here, man. Dude, the field is gonna be tough. Uh, so what the Trevor Fry, I think his name is. He just won Raccoon. Um, that I'm not sure what the last name is. Mary.
Kowalski.
Yeah. Uh, women's champion. She is coming back. Um, I can't. It keeps coming back. Um, I know a whole bunch of Canadians. Well, I don't know them, but Ben had said, race director Ben had said one day he posted that a whole group of Canadians showed up, and just I want to go. It's tough, man. That one is tough. But now that like training for that might help me do my A goal this year, as in like because like training for that race, I started running. I bought a pair of road shoes, and I know I need to run more road anyway, but I bought a pair of road shoes that wore out training for the 20 miles I was going to have to run at the beginning of the race, or the 24 miles I was going to have to run at the beginning of the race. Um,
Yeah, that's a nice flat rail trail. It just sucks the life out of you once it's hot.
it's the worst of both worlds. Like the flattest, hottest rail trail in the middle of the day, and then the gnarliest 40 miles that you can get, like back to back. Like I don't know how that could be, on bookends of a race. So
Well, I will say that rail trail was actually pretty cold that day, comparable to some summer days. Just because I tell people the way that rail trail is set up and the way that leaf cover is, the heat just gets trapped in. It just keeps like a circular pattern. It doesn't actually escape. It just keeps hitting and circling back down. So it was actually pretty cool that day. I didn't race it last year, but like just
Mhm.
watching people when I stopped at the aid stations, I was like, they got lucky.
That's funny. Um, yeah. What else about that one? I probably will go back. I will. It's I just hadn't made up any decisions. I'm kind of like I'd rather register for stuff a couple months out, like biting the bullet, like right now and saying, like a year from now, I'm gonna run GDR. That's hard to do, like, but at least it gives you a whole year to be like, know what you got to do and better train. But it's still a hard commitment that far out to make. But sometimes you got to make it if you want to do the event.
So, one last touch about Georgia Death Race. What race in PA would you compare it to?
What I was comparing it to before is when I was talking. to people from up there. For one, and for one, so this one I didn't even touch on this. So like I enlisted to help my good friend Sayer to that coaches to naturally progression of to coach me because I just I wanted a little structure, you know what I mean? Like I can go out and romp around in the woods and enough to get ultras done, but I hit the gym. I don't hit the gym. I don't do any speed work. I don't do anything. So I thought maybe a little structure would help. So yes, I've been doing that. But and when I was talking to her, I told her that I thought it was going to be like a World's End with more road, but it felt more like Eastern State. It felt more like Eastern States 100 than World's End, even though Eastern States doesn't have that road in there. But it just was the way the trail. It just did to me, you know. It still didn't have those. Okay, like you've done Eastern States, yeah.
Yep.
So like that one in Georgia Death Race, the really long road climb kind of was like there's a really long I think it's up to Happy Dutchman. It's like 8 miles and it's all uphill every inch of it. And if you want to run it, you could run it, but if you run it and you get up there and you're worn out, then you're going to be in a world of trouble, later on. So it was kind of more like Eastern States, I would think. I mean,
All right.
yeah, but when you're there, I tell you what, when you're there, you have to pinch yourself and tell yourself you're not like in Pennsylvania or West Virginia or something because it's kind of like that, Um, the mountains, just everything. It doesn't feel urban, like at all, Like you're right down the road from Atlanta, but it didn't feel urban,
All right. Is there anything else you want to add about the race or?
The spikes heavy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think I got the thing out there right.
Yeah, you got a good no.
A good light, better or something. Spikes heavy. It's worth going down, man. Like it's one of like I've heard people say when they first learned of the sport, it's one of the first events they heard of. You know what I mean? Like I heard people saying that, and it's I would definitely go down and check it out. And I'm you know what else I want to do? Which one you asked me if I would do other ones like, and I've been looking at for a while is I want to do Quest for the Crest on Mount Mitchell. Go up Mount Mitchell at whatever it is, 6,684, 686 or something like that. Like I haven't been up there and I want to go up there and experience that one.
Yeah, that
Um,
that does look pretty good. I did read a little bit, but it wasn't. It was on my radar, but it's not on the radar type
I
deal.
think as far as I know, I think I'm pretty sure it's 50K with 12,000 feet of vert with in 3 climbs or something like that. I'm pretty sure. So who wouldn't want to do that, right?
You got to experience all the suffering that you can as early as you can in life because you never know.
I've loved this. I love the sport. And sports, saves people, saves,
And
helps me tremendously,
well,
man.
just the trail running community in general, the camaraderie and the friendship. I mean, I've known you what probably like for 3 years now, and we just randomly like came up to each other one day and just started talking. Just that's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
how
We,
that community is.
we chatted way more this last year because we were both, you go to the event, you hang out after the events till, till everybody leaves. You know, I like to sit around there too.
Hey, get your
Um,
money's worth.
yeah, right.
I mean, after you're finished, you just watch the other people suffering, or not just suffering, but doing what they're doing.
So yeah, so yeah, on your agenda, you just got Heiner next. So I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'm gonna try to um hit the foam roller tonight and see if my legs want to maybe pump some stairs at the gym or something. I don't know. See what happens.
All right,
See
well,
if they reject that. Well, nice chat with you, man. For real. Like,
yeah,
thanks
thanks
for
for coming on. I know we went a little long, but
hey,
it was more, you know what I mean? We kept it going, so it wasn't like we were just dead airing it. So,
I didn't. Yeah, we didn't kick a dead horse. So I mean,
all right, well, I'll see you soon, and hopefully you feel good and your legs recover pretty good this week.
okay. Thanks, man.
Thank you.